Our top focus, the Indo-Pacific region has become a major focal point in recent times. China's hostility has been put under the lens by many. One of the strongest voices has been from the United States. To counter Beijing's growing footprint, Washington and New Delhi have joined hands. The two nations are going to co-develop drones. A top Pentagon official says the aim is to produce drones launched from airplanes, and then India will export them to mutual partners. South and Southeast Asia are being seen as the key target markets. Both allies have their own reasons. India wants to diversify its arsenal with more modern weaponry, and the US wants to secure the Indo-Pacific. Relations between New Delhi and Washington have had their shares of ups and downs, but in recent times, issues with China have brought the two together. India and the US saw one of their high points when Donald Trump was in the Oval Office. The latest agreement will not conclude with only drones. The Pentagon and New Delhi are considering to co-produce more defense projects. However, details are still in the works. Our top focus on Beyond Dispatch today. The Indo-Pacific region has now become a focal point in big news developments. China's hostility, of course, has been put under the lens by many. And now to counter Beijing's growing footprint in the area, Washington and New Delhi have come together. They have announced that they will be co-developing drones. This has been confirmed by the Pentagon in the US. The Pentagon official says that the aim of this deal is to produce drones launched from airplanes, and then India will export them to mutual partners. And now for more details, we are now being joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani from New York. Susan, welcome to this broadcast. Now, this is big news that India and the US will co-develop drones clearly as a way to counter China's aggression in the Indo-Pacific. What more can you tell us about this?
Right. It's very interesting because really, as you mentioned, it comes at a very sensitive time. And throughout the years, notably since 2016, the Trump administration really launched an incentive and initiative with New Delhi for a defense partnership. And until today, defense relations is the strongest form of partnership between the United States and India. Delhi wants to diversify its weaponry, which is mainly Russian-made, so this makes sense for them, and also wants to develop its own defense industry. And according to Ely Ratner, who's Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Indo-Pacific Security Affairs, he told a group of reporters that we want to support India on both fronts and are doing so. By both fronts, he means not only for New Delhi to diversify its weaponry, but also ultimately for the United States to help India in building these drones as well. So sort of a kind of a partnership. So Indian-made drones on the one hand, and then US-Indian drones on the other.
Right. Susan, the Pentagon also said that India and the US could co-produce major capabilities. Can you tell us what these could entail?
So these capabilities, it goes beyond drones. We have the issue of naval cooperation as well. And then there's the issue of cybersecurity as well. That's something that has been talked about as far back as 2021. And if you remember back in April, there was a big meeting between U.S. and Indian officials, and I think the conversation really started back then, and I think that's what we're seeing right now, move past these drones and moving towards not only sort of the naval cooperation, but also cybersecurity cooperation as well. You know, the Indo-Pacific is very important for the United States, and obviously India is a major partner for the United States to rely on.
Right, Susan, thanks so much for all those inputs, and thanks for joining us on the broadcast at this hour. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.